one match after the pay-per-view?
Only time will tell.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to say one-on-one McManus versus Fnatic.
Okay. I'm going to say Scorpion v Fnatic. I mean, from my perspective, you've given him the ball. Let's see if he runs with it.
Who's that?
Scorpion.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, plenty of ability as a character, and, he's quite lucky. He's obviously in the Euro title scene. He's in the,
free weight
EC, and he's also still got that shot in his bag, so he could be,
Can I just ask, is that basically the Money in the Bank shot where it can be cashed in any time, or is it basically or is it going to be I declare I'm using this tonight, like at the very start, or a few weeks in advance?
It's kind of like the Freshers Ball contract, so yeah, he can basically cash it in when he wants.
Okay.
Or when we dictate, which is usually the case.
Okay then. Speaking of the freeweight, we've got the freeweight showcase with Abe, Nay, and Kenty v Adamson, Hill, and Murdoch.
6.
Yeah, it's I think it's a chance, obviously, because we've got the big the EC match, so it's to give those guys a bit of limbering up before the big one. So, plenty of big names in there. Obviously Abe, the returnee. Following his, there's a lot of tension in that match, Obviously you've got Abe and Marshall, they've got a bit of history. Nay and Mike Hill, they've got quite a lot of history. Abe and Max have got history. And not just that, but, there's Mr. Kenty there as well, who's obviously the champion at the moment, so all eyes will be on him. Difficult one to call that.
Yeah,
you know the result.
Oh yeah. Well, my guess, I think we're gonna see Nay go over Murdoch here. Just for a complete wild guess.
I'd say the faces are going to win somehow, but I'm not entirely sure who'd go over who, because I can quite easily see it just falling into absolute bedlam. Especially as no team's going to particularly trust the other, so.
It's a good shout, the old, faces, dissension and stuff like that, yeah.
The one minor thing I do want to bring up, is the segment. Can I just order a casket for RJ?
Yeah, it's quite a fun little dynamic, actually, the whole sort of Cassius and RJ thing. I do remember, we were just, we were coming out of Broad and Fire, and I remember saying to Matt, we were talking about going forward, and I said, yeah, by the way, Cassius's next feud is going to be against RJ. And he just went, what? I was like, no, seriously, this is how it's going to work. And, I think he was kind of like, don't fuck this up. He's just had the best build up into Broad and Fire that you could ask for, and you're throwing him to a commentator. But, you hit Mark James with a chair, this is what happens to you, and, you've got what's coming to you, you chinky bastard.
I mean, it's like booking the Brooklyn Brawler as the world champion.
Can be done.
True.
I attempt to do it. Seriously, in my WWE, I actually have booked the Brooklyn Brawler as the champion.
See, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it shows difference.
I love that, because it's so far from realism that it actually works.
Hitting a sidewalk stomp onto Mark Henry.
Okay, not so realistic.
Well, it's basically top rope. It's basically second rope facebuster, so it's still possible to hit on Henry.
Yeah, true, very true.
Yeah, I mean, match 7. Ooh, Steel v Crime Lord. I think we might see Hero sneak in here, try and interfere.
Yeah, that's, it's a possibility. It should be be an interesting set of promos between these two. I know Steel wasn't well last week, so he didn't get anything up, and I know Crimey's been busy, tied up with uni work, but hopefully they'll both come back raring to go this week, and we'll see some good stuff come out of that match. And there's obviously, again, in the same sense that match 3 and 4 sort of linked together. 7 and 8 is kind of the same. Crime Lord Dig Deck, everyone's favourite Logan last week, and Lex Hart is there as well. Obviously, he's got beef with Cassius.
Yeah, the last 3 matches they're just pay-per-view quality matches straight away that I would love to see.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing about lockdown at the moment is we've got the opportunity to put these matches on, and we don't have to save them for a pay-per-view. We can mix it up, and that was one of the big things about doing the merger and bringing Ascension into the main roster, was that we would be in this situation, and when you look down and you've got Crime Lord, a former world champion, not main eventing, you've got Logan Kincaid and Lex Hart, 2 huge names, not main eventing. You've got Abe Abercorn, Max Adamson, Mike Hill. Well, apart from Max, who's not a world champion, much to his disgust.
Hey, he's a 6CW world champion.
He was, yeah. And he has a dirty world title.
But, oh dear. Well, at least everyone here can agree that nobody will complain like Hobo did of being on the pre-show.
That's true. Yeah, we don't have a pre-show anymore.
No, it's the fact that one little story that I have is that when we were back on the 606 boards, Hobo complained about being on the pre-show before the main match, and I was like, match 3.
Doesn't surprise me that much.
No.
From the guy who brought you Clement Oedipus and Shinobi Blackbeard.
And Eddie Lee Creevy.
Oh, yeah. Eddie Lee Creevy and
Ginger Shu. And Cole S. Law.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have another quick look into the future then. Breakout star of the year for you two.
For 2013.
Yeah.
Mr. Kenty, gotta be for me.
I love Kenty. I love writing his segments, but I'm gonna go with Nate Bother or Cameron Faye. I think he's got huge potential, and he has done for some time. And you look at, there's a few guys on that roster where they should have at least been in and around a title scene or held one by now. Nay, McManus, Scorpion hasn't held one for a while. But yeah, he's my pick for 2013.
Okay. Well,
and that's not like from a head of creative perspective. That's purely personal opinion. He's going to job for the rest of the year.
Sorry about that, Nay. We've ruined it for you.
Okay, well, I'm not going to give you my pick yet, because to be honest, I'm biased, and I would probably just say myself.
Yeah.
My breakout star is now Leon.
But like say,
you'll be lucky to make it to Born in Fire, Jack.
Make it to Revival.
Okay.
That's what Survival's all about. We brought forward Keith Leo's horrifying battle with AIDS. Survival.
I'm just going to get feud of the year. Leo versus AIDS.
Okay, final section because it is getting pretty late here.
Yeah, where are you?
Where am I? I'm a full-time carer, thank you very much. Okay, basically, I like to call this the Wrestling Rewind. Pick one match that you thought was underrated. Beer, go.
I don't know. It's difficult because I think I'd probably say Austin versus Rock from WrestleMania 17. A lot of people dumped over the finish of that with Austin siding with McMahon, but I thought it was brilliant, and it was the sort of perfect setup for the rest of their feud. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay, CJ?
I'd probably go for something kind of a slightly biased opinion, which is Scott Hall versus Kevin Nash at, I think it was Uncensored in WCW, when basically it was booked precisely as it should have been, with Nash just kicking the crap out of a drunk Scott Hall. And people didn't like it, obviously, because it was an NWO thing, and the NWO was getting boring then. But I just thought that the build-up and the actual match fitted each other so well.
Was Scott Hall legit drunk then?
No, that wasn't when Scott Hall was legit drunk. He seemed to, when it was the Clique involved in matches, he seemed to be sober, but...
Well, personally, my favourite has to go back to ECW One Night Stand 2006, the opening match, which was Randy Orton v Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. People just go at it because of the crowd, which is the case of, yeah, it's Kurt Angle and Randy Orton in a decent match.
To be fair, the crowd was worse for Batista Big Show in that night.
Yeah,
Batista Big Show was a regular episode of ECW, not the pay-per-view.
Was it? I thought it was actually One Night Stand.
No.
Oh, right.
That was actually on a televised episode. But like I say, gentlemen, I've had fun doing this, and hopefully, I don't know when we'll be doing this, probably between 2 weeks and a month from now.
Yeah, probably after the sale, I think.
Yeah. So like I say, I'm gonna have to disappear, so, I'd like to say thank you very much to my guests, Beery, King Beer, King, what are the names you've been under?
Zeus Beer.
Zeus Beer. And, CJ, Clark James,
not
that
Clark
guy.
Not Clark James.
Clark James.
Right. Well, thank you very much for doing this, gentlemen, and thank you very much for listening. Good night.
Fuck Redknapp.